Okay, fellas, listen up, please. Look, simple as this. We just need to be better at the back. There's no more excuses. Ayasa, where are you, mate? Oh, there you are. Look, you're dead to me. So you'll be leaving the club in January. I do need you in Europe, though, so don't throw in the towel completely, please. In other news, we have signed a new player. He'll be joining us once he gets back from international duty with Croatia. Yeah, no, a senior Croatia international. I know. And Triantas, mate, you're not taking free kicks anymore. No, you're a danger to us all.
Jarune, za tebe mi dijete diše, tu je važno samo jedno, nogomet i ništa više. Jarune.
Hey guys, it's Aussie Villain and welcome back to Jarun on The Impossible Dream. It is Season 7, Episode 6 today. We have a European doubleheader, Feyenoord, and I think it's Aberdeen is the second game. But the big news is that we have signed a new player, a new signing, 32-year-old international Croatian Jakic. Now, he looks very, very useful, particularly mentally. He can play defense or in midfield. I don't know exactly. I think more in midfield. I mean, obviously, it's quite obvious what you like about him. He's on 1,300 a week as a squad player. Yes, he's 32, but mentally, he's an absolute monster. Work rate, teamwork will be great in midfield, as well bravery and aggression. I really want him to come in and just try and just stiffen us up a little bit, make us harder to break down. Decent tackler as well. So that's what that's why we've gone and got him. He was a free transfer, so he didn't cost us anything, which is good. And we have a quick look at his career to date. It is a long one, so I won't be able to get it all on the thing here, but he started, it looks like it's Split. Now, that's not Hajduk Split, I don't think. I think that's another team. But he went to Lokomotiva for 120 grand, ended up at Zagreb for $1 million, then off to Germany, and he's sort of played Bundesliga, and then a little bit of time. Big money move to Wolves and then to Leeds, who just ended up letting him go, which is a strange one, to be honest, having paid 25 million. But this is a player that has cost almost 50 million in transfers throughout his career, and we've got him for free at 32. I think that's a pretty sweet deal for us. So let's hope he's a bit of a difference maker for us. Now, one thing I did just want to catch you up on, because I think when I was editing last week's episodes, I forgot to mention this. Temo Brendic, who we signed on a free transfer, he has gone off on loan to Pisa in Italy. It's Serie B, I believe. He's there for no other reason than he's just going to get game time, and he's one that most likely will look to sell on. It's a sort of a fatten the pig and sell it at market kind of deal. So, yeah, if he's off playing, he's going to increase his transfer value, and so, yeah, we've loaned him out for the year. I think they're paying his wages and whatnot, so it's a good one for us, that one, I think. Now, something else we haven't really checked in on in a little while is the dynamics, so I thought it'd be a good chance to do that. Good cohesion, excellent atmosphere, good managerial support, so that's all good. The one thing is a lack of depth at right wing back. Now, one thing I don't know that they're looking at Doué as a right wing back, which is holding that back a little bit right now, I think. I did say the promise I've given is that we'll play young players there. Now, I've not really done that in truth, but we've still got 194 days to keep the promise, so it should hopefully work out okay. The hierarchy. We can see here Philip Palumbo and Kakavenga are our team leaders, and nobody is actively against me, which is excellent. And yeah, I mean, Jakic just comes straight in as a highly influential player, and he has been called into the Croatian national side, so I don't know why he was sitting as a free agent. That is confused me a little bit. I can't remember if the scouts came to him or it was like an intermediary suggestion, but he just sort of popped up on a scouting report. 1,300 a week is absolute peanuts for him as well. The social groups, they are still a little bit fragmented. Like I've said many times, ideally we'd all come together, but we see that we have so many players in and out as we sort of try and get better, have more money to spend, that it's sort of inevitable in a way that we are going to have little sections in the dressing room. But we'll keep working on team bonding and stuff like that, and hopefully it'll come together sooner rather than later. Now, we do have some games to catch you up on. There is two of them. The first one was in the Cup. It was Gorica, and let's go see if we are progressing into the next round. We took the lead when Visinton played in Palumbo, but Gorica pulled level, and then went ahead before half-time. Palumbo slipped in Visinton to draw us level, and Williams then headed us in front, before Gorica pulled level in stoppage time, sending the tie to penalties, where Ayasa made a save, before Williams And then Sithole let us down. So there we go. Unfortunately, we are out of the cup. We absolutely threw this away. We were, ahead in stoppage time, and wasn't too much happened in stoppage time, in extra time, I should say. And then the penalties, well, we were in front. And then, Williams and Sithole couldn't convert, and that knocks us out. Not the end of the world. As long as we're finishing at the top of we don't need it to get into Europe, then it's okay. There's no prize money in there. It's just sort of a glory, and to be honest, the league in Europe keeps us pretty busy these days. So, yeah, I'm not too disappointed to be out of it, although obviously you'd like to be in it and try and win it, wouldn't you? Next up, it was the league. It was Varisden, and obviously, having gone to extra time and penalties, we had a lot of tied legs hanging around. So let's see if we could pick ourselves up and get something against Varisden back in the league. We took an early lead when Matanovic finished the counter-attack. Santiago made it 2-0 early in the second half, before Siraj found Kolasenak unmarked for his first career goal. Some penalty area head tennis was finished by Matanovic for our fourth, before Renokia made it 5-0. So we were absolutely brilliant in the second half when, really, I was expecting us to sort of try and start and fade away. Not try and fade away, but that's what I was expecting was going to happen. But really, look at the XG tracker here. They never had a sniff. So, yeah, it was really, really good. And it was more or less a rotated side. This was Jakic's debut. We had one of our young promising centre-backs. Priscilla was in goal. And everybody just did really, really well, including this young left-back who got his first career goal for us. He's not one that's going to make it for us, but he's third choice for this season, 18-year-old Bosnian. And, he did okay. He's not too bad. Physically and mentally, he's fine, just technically. He has my technical ability, unfortunately for him. So if we look at the league table after that, and we are still sitting second, 2 points ahead of Slaven Belupo. And as I said earlier in the season, unfortunately for us, Dinamo Zagreb have found their mojo again. They are just better than everybody in the league, and we just need to come second as often as we can and just sort of chip away at the advantage that they have. If we go and have a look at some of the league leaders, we have Hamache and Della Vabora, both our left backs up there in the average ratings. They're both up there in assists as well. If only there was a way to play both of them. Maybe we could go to wingers, but then we have young wingers that play on that left-hand side as well. But you'd rather, it's a strength and depth, isn't it? Let's go with that. So a quick reminder of the Europa League table. We have 2 home games today against Feyenoord and Aberdeen. We are currently sitting 12th, a point outside of the top 8, which is kind of where we'd like to end up, I suppose. So if we have a look here as we scroll down, Feyenoord are down there in 23rd. They have won 1 of their 3 games so far. Aberdeen are just above them on goal difference, again having won 1 of their 3. So let's hope this is a good opportunity at home of both of them to pick up 6 points, take us to 12, and that's going to get us guaranteed at least into the competition after into the new year. It's not really, the competition goes into the new year now anyway, I think, doesn't it? But that's all beside the point. Let's go and have a look at what we're doing here against the Dutch. And we're expecting a 3-4-3 out of them, or a bus park with 3 up front. Now, many of you had said that Matanovic, oh no, he's not on the starting. Many of you had said in the comments that it was not the player's fault, the 2 centre backs. That's true. It was 100% my fault. There was a silly formation to go with in hindsight. But as I said in the comments, it's easy to, at the time, just to blame the players for your stupidity, basically. So we are keeping faith with Ayasa in Europe, basically because it's him or Sakanji, and we're selling him, basically. I've lost faith in him. So if we can especially if we get a bidding war going, we should get 5 million is what I'm asking for, and then we'll find somebody that knows how to stop a ball, basically. So he has to start. Now we are doing an experiment in this one, so it's Williams, Santiago, and Sithole going as a wide centre back. Now he is left-footed. He does have pretty much, maybe marking lets him down, heading as well. He does have a lot of the attributes you need to play as a centre-back, particularly a wide centre-back. So it's just an experiment to see what happens, because we do have tied legs. Due and Hamache will be the wide players. Palumbo, Kakavenga, Skoko, they're all in behind Akbazli and Visinton for this one. All right, so we can see the team sheets here now. Ocampos was a bit of a... He's Belgian, I think, isn't he? Or am I thinking he was the Argentinian? I think he was a bit of a wonder kid a few FMs ago. There's names I recognise there, but no one that sort of sends a shiver down your spine, I don't think. but this home form's important. Yeah, I can get on board with that. We're sort of at the point now, aren't we? Sort of 6-7 seasons in, where some of the new gen start to really hit their stride, sort of hitting their mid-20s or so. If you were sort of a first season regen, so yeah, not knowing names doesn't necessarily guarantee much. But yeah, interesting to see how Sithole gets on. If it works out, brilliant. If it doesn't, that's actually come out in a 4-4-2, which doesn't change too much about how we want to attack them. It just means they're going to be a little bit more open, perhaps. But yeah, so we'll see. The reason that Tosic isn't playing is that he's suspended, you may remember. So it's not that he's been dropped. And that, again, that's partly why we've got Sithole back there in an experiment. Because if we are going to play with the 3 centre-backs and therefore there's no man in front, particularly if there's 2 strikers, I think we just have to have 3 centre-backs. Which I've always done. I don't know what I was thinking. But yeah, so I think Sithole kind of needs to find himself a new role. Now, we've got sort of Bosniak and Palumbo and Kakavenga who can play further forward in midfield. Yeah, we just need to find him a new role, and if he can play centre back and further forward in midfield if we need him to, then that's no bad thing, is it? All right, we've got a throw here for Ocampos. Let's see if we can go and win this back. Please and thank you. They've gone over the top in behind Williams, and it's a goal kick. So yeah, that's not great. Here we go, Hamache. Now he's a good free kick taker. Can he bend one in here? He has. Just over the top. So many times, Hamache just over the top hits sort of the roof of the net on the way down. Okay, so I wonder if okay. Let's lower the tempo down, given that it's Europe. Let's see if we can create a little bit more that way. I feel a little bit like the first few seasons, especially when we got promoted, we really lucked out that, oh, Jesus, how'd that stay up? We really lucked out that Dinamo was a shambles, so it enabled us to win the league, and I feel like I knew, but we knew how we were playing, the formation we were playing, who was playing, and all that kind of stuff, and we did do quite well. I feel like since Dinamo has sort of come back and are doing well, we're sort of, I don't know that we're getting worse. I think we probably do have better players, but I think it's a little bit of me starting to get confused myself, maybe, for lack of a better term. And we've got, the young players that are... and Hamache misses his head up. And we are 1-0 down just before half-time, which we did not need. Now, that would have been, yeah, Sithole's part of the defensive line. Hamache's gone back. Hamache should have done better, really. All right, well, let's raise the tempo back up and be more expressive. Yeah, I mean, we've not done badly. It's a little bit unlucky, so we'll tell them that it's unlucky. We'll try and build some confidence. And, yeah, we'll go from there. Now, Visentin did have a heavy match load. So they've got inverted wingers. So I wonder if we need to try and trap them outside. I'll have to check what we're doing on that front. Here we go now with Palumbo to Hamache. What sort of a touch was that, man? Come on. Oh, Visentin won it back. It's a terrible pass. Can we make them pay for that? Skoko. It's Zach Barsley. Oh, it's terrible goalkeeping. It's onside. Surely it's onside. Oh, it's Visentin that they're worried about. It is okay. All right, it looked okay at the time, but he's read that like a book. He's done real, and then we picked them off beautifully, didn't we? Kakavenga to Skoko, back to Visentin. Yeah, he's fine. That wasn't even close. Not the most convincing finish from Barsley, if we're honest. But we'll take it. And early in the second half, we've pegged them back. We're level. And I wanted to check how are we defending them. Yeah, so let's trap them outside if they've got inverted wingers. Let's not invite them inside doing what they want to do. Sithole over a free kick to Palumbo. What I'm hoping with Sithole too is that what we lose with him sort of as a not a natural defender necessarily, and we saw the marking stat isn't great, but as a wide centre back, sort of getting forward and passing the ball out, that will gain a little bit more. I did actually toy with the idea of playing him as a centre back or maybe as a libero, but also as a ball playing centre back in the middle. Bosley has done well. Hakavenga picks up a loose ball. Hakavenga has a go, but on this occasion, straight at the goalkeeper. But yeah, it's an experiment that hopefully we don't need to do long term. But I'm just thinking right now we've got so many good players that they're sort of playing that midfield role that yeah, just trying to risking, being like England back in the day, trying to just pigeonhole all your best players in rather than your best team. That's what I'm doing basically. All right, come on. Can we put some pressure on them here and win this ball back? Skoko does well. Palumbo to Visinton. Visinton's got a little bit of support. Akbarsley, it's wide for Hakavenga. Hakavenga, not a great first touch. And look at Palumbo at the edge of the area, and Palumbo buries it. And it is 2-1. We've turned it around in the second half. We'll just go back to positive off of attacking. And we have been much, much better second half, haven't we? Took the handbrake off with the be more disciplined. That might have been after the first goal, actually. And I tell you what, Visinton there's a big argument for offside. Whether or not he was is of course one part of the question. But if he was in front of the defence, he was very much in front of the goalkeeper as well. But that's okay. Wasn't given. We'll take it. And do we want to make any changes? Due is tired. He's a booking away from a suspension. I never quite understand. It's different if you were, say, like 3 or 4 goals up and he's a booking away, then yeah, take him off. Palumbo's done brilliantly again. It's fallen for Due, and he can't get it inside the post. But, when it's a tight game and you want your best players on the field, if he gets a booking here, then he gets a booking. Like, we need him out there. But the clock is running down. Let's try praising them again. Hopefully we'll get one more shout in before full time and we can tell them to focus. We're almost at the point now where we need to start closing the game down. And before we get to that point, we've got a highlight for Feyenoord. Can we get that away? Oh! Jesus. I have no idea how that stayed out. All right, let's go close it down. All right, so we have made one sub. Skoko's off, Triantis is on, and Sithole just goes a little bit further forward, but everything otherwise is ultra defensive and just trying to close it down in stoppage time. Let's give it a focus if we can. Doesn't look like we're going to get the chance to, but we don't need to. So a good second half turnaround, 1-0 down at the break, and look at that second half. They did have a go later on there, didn't they? But absolutely fine, 3 points, and again, we're flying in Europe. So that takes us to 9th in the standings. And yeah, well, if we can beat Aberdeen, then we're going to be very, very good, aren't we, in terms of getting through to the next round? And 12 points from 5 games is, I mean, that's top 8 stuff, isn't it? So I didn't say we were in control. That seems a little bit much, but anyway, $500,000 in the bank. Palumbo shines. He did have a very, very good game. He's absolute class, Palumbo, isn't he? And I get the credit. Well, mate, I don't say anything you say with anything other than a pinch of salt because you're useless. I dislike him. I dislike him at this point, and that's when you know it's time for a player to go. All right, we've got, I think, 2 games in the league against Rijeka and somebody. Who's the other one against? Rijeka and Dinamo. Then we'll come back for Aberdeen. If we take any, we need to win that game against Dinamo, but we'll see. We'll see. Aberdeen that is next, though. All right, welcome back. We are getting ready to host Aberdeen, but we've got a little bit of news to catch you up on beforehand, starting with a couple of signings that are coming in. The first one for 70 grand is an unambitious 20-year-old or 21-year-old now goalkeeper. There's a little bit to like about him. If we can mentor a better personality into him, we might get something. He's at Racing Santander right now. Like I said, I'm just completely lost interest in Ayasa, so we need some goalkeepers, and we'll just sort of throw mud. Hopefully something will stick and we'll get a good one. But yeah, so he's coming in. This will all be for January, I think, isn't it? Yeah, January 18th when our window opens. And the other sign that we've got, this one, I think we can get excited about. For 2.8 million, potentially rising to 3.4, it's Hugo Torres, a 19-year-old Uruguayan international right back. We beat a lot of clubs for him. Barcelona, some Premier League teams were all interested, but we went in. We just got the deal done. He's going to be on about 10 grand a week. as a star player, just to make sure we get it done. Physically, he's very, very good. The only slight concern would be jumping reach, but for a fullback, that shouldn't be a problem. He's obviously got room to develop. Crossing is not too bad. Drill building's not the best, but we can work with that. And yeah, just all round, you can see he was an A+ signing. He's just a very, very good player. So he's coming in from Nacional. We'll see him in January. And yeah, that will hopefully, at 19, be our right back problem sorted for a few years. Unfortunately, there is a release fee of just over 5 million. Hopefully, we'll get that. You know, we'll offer him new contracts like we did with Sid Hole and get that taken care of. But anyway, that's all for January. Let's go and have a look at the 2 games we have to catch you up on. The first of which, both of these in the league, was against Rijeka. We went in France when Antwi played in Kacavenga. But Rijeka pulled level late in the first half. And then went ahead before half-time. Before Pavasevic's stunner drew us level. So 2-2 away from home, not the end of the world. They scored 2 goals in a minute though, right before half-time, which is frustrating. But Pavasevic's goal, what a strike it was. And Antwi, he's quickly becoming, well, he's going to drop back the second choice in January, but he's quickly becoming our first choice right back, to be honest. Another very, very good game from him. So that was that. Next up, we hosted Dinamo. I think in the pre-game press conference, it told me they were on something like a 26-game unbeaten run. Let's see if we could break that. Dinamo snatched it deep into stoppage time. This was so unfair. We dominated the game. We deserved to win it. Vissington missed an absolute sitter as well. And in the 4th minute of 4, they've nicked it. It was literally the last kick of the game. And it's just difficult to be anything other than devastated by that. So, yeah, only 1 point from those 2 games. Quick update of the league table. And it's, again, not going too bad. There's 1 point between 2nd and 5th. And yeah, we just need to make sure that we are in the top 4. Of course, we are out of the cup, and 5th place may not be a guaranteed European spot. But anyway, let's go and work on this season's European spot. And we're expecting a 4-7-3 formation from them. I don't know what you call that. And this is the team we're sending out. So it's Ayasa in goal. He has to play because we don't have the other guy registered. Priscilla, Triantis, Tosic and Williams will be the back 3. Due and Hamache will go down the wings. Bosniak, Kakanvenga, Skoko, Akbarsli and Vissington. Akbarsli's got a heavy match. So we've just come back from an international break, which is not maybe helping the cause for some people here. We might have to have a little play around with the bench here as well. But anyway, I'll see you in there. Alright, so the only change we made on the bench, I just dropped Husevic in there just because the other guy had just played a game, I think. Now, do we recognise anybody in this Aberdeen lineup? Jan Danda is there, Jamie McGrath is there, Leighton Clarkson as well. So a couple of familiar names from previous episodes of the series on the channel. Let's go out there, relax. I think that might be a decent thing to say here for us. We have got to be favourites at home for this, even if the game doesn't think so. Surely we've got to expect to win it. So, yeah, we'll hopefully go and do just that. We do have a game. This is the Thursday. It's like the Saturday. It's some ridiculous turnaround against Bordeaux. Now, they have, I'm not sure how many of, and they come out 4-4-2. Of course they have. I'm not sure how many of their players. Obviously, we've got a few players there on loan. I can't remember. Some of them can play against us. Some of them can't. But I can't remember now which players are which. So hopefully that'll disrupt their lineup a little bit anyway. And who's the Afro? Oh, that's Tosic is the Afro. But yeah, I mean, the Dinamo game was just unfortunate. In a way, the Rijeka one was as well. But a draw in that was probably fair. It just happened that they got their 2 goals very quickly. But yeah, and Pavasevich is injured as well, which leaves us just a little bit short up front right now as well. But we do have the next cab off the rank of our promising young strikers has just turned 16. So that means he'll be available for league games. Now, I don't think that he'll start against Bordeaux because he's just come back from playing for the Croatian under-19s and they play like 3 games in a week or something. So he's a bit knackered from that. As we've got some work to do here. Now, the other player that's just back from injury as well is Dekic. So that gives us another option at right back as Ayasa makes a save. Ayasa failed his bid to average a 6.7. So, yeah, it's a penalty from Bosniak. The ball went straight through, didn't it, unfortunately? And that is going to be given. So again, we just continue to stutter our way through games a little bit. Can Asa make a save? No, he cannot. And we go 1-0 down to Aberdeen. I mean, in a way, a penalty's unlucky in that there's not much tactically you can do about it. It's just an individual mistake from Bosniak. He's lucky to be playing, actually. I wasn't quite sure whether we go with him or Palumbo. And we ended up going with Bosniak. But still, you know, long time to go here. We can hopefully rescue it. Triantis now gets it wide for Kakovenga. I'm thinking, too, when the new right-back comes in, Hamache with a chance now. Can he square it? He goes himself, and the goalkeeper makes a save. When the new right-back comes in, I think we might start to use Due more as the right-sided wide centre-back. He's probably well-suited to that role as well. Kakovenga, we know he loves a goal from range, a European screamer, as Triantis decides to stop and look at it. And suddenly we find ourselves in a little bit of trouble on the break. Triantis gets back and just about rescues the situation. We have done work on defensive side of our game as well, which is desperately needed. As we can see, we're conceding a lot of goals. Hamache with the ball to the back post. Reece Williams, second of the season. And we're back level just after the half-hour mark. So we needed to get level, I think. Obviously, we need to get level, but as quickly as possible. So inside 10 minutes, and a good header from Reece Williams. Skoko and Due were in there as well. And we'll encourage them some more. And, I mean, possession's been kind of even. We've not created a great deal. But again, like I said in the first game, I feel like I just am getting myself in a bit of a mess with who's playing what position and what tactics we're playing. And so, yeah, Williams has done really well there. And can we go and get them on the break now? Skoko's got options in front of him. Visinton's offside, I think. It's a really good pass, really good finish. But I am fairly sure that Visinton's gone early there. And indeed he has. Needed to be passed there. Skoko just took... I think he was probably looking out wide, wasn't he? And in the end, that probably should have been his pass. And just not quite clicking, are we? But can we get to the break? At least level, if not in front. We've got a highlight in first half stoppage time. One other thing that we did do some work on, we did some endurance training. Now, one thing that I've noticed is that if you tend to concede late in a half, it can be an endurance issue, and sometimes endurance training can just help that. So hopefully, after conceding too late in the first half against Rijeka and then the 94th minute goal against Dinamo, hopefully that'll stop us from... that's a poor pass. Bosniak picks it up. Akbazli, can he play in Visinton? Visinton, he goes wide for Hamache. We've got players in the middle. Hamache, can he pull it back across goal? We're queuing up. Get the ball in the box, man. What's he doing? Oh, that's one back by Triantis. Visinton, the Kakovenga! He's done it again! Kakovenga in Europe. He's unstoppable. And in first half stoppage time, we go in front. And it is yet another goal for this Kakovenga goal of the season competition that he just runs every season. Look at that. The goalkeeper, in truth, should have done a little bit better with that. That was savable. But it's another just stunning effort, and Skoko's injured. Alright, so it's probably a good opportunity. We can bring Palumbo on and drop him in. Kakovenga can go further forward. And Suraj will be able to play in the league, so that is not a massive deal. Hopefully it's not a long-term injury, because it would start to become a bit of a problem then. But we will point our finger. We will say, don't get complacent out there. And, well, yeah, I mean, we just need to defend properly, which is easier said than done for us, especially recently. But, yeah, I think you can start to see where we're, with Filet injured and Pavicevic as well, you can see that we're lacking a little bit in depth up front right now. Akbazli, it was almost there. It's going to get picked up by Williams, though. Ayasa, Tosic. Now, I'd never actually set a target before, like I did with Ayasa. So I kind of told him you tried and failed. Like that's you have to deal with the consequences now. So I'm hoping, still giving him as Trientos with a nice header down there for Kakavenga. Visinton, we're not picking out his runs quick enough, are we? I think he has stayed on side that time, and of course, that's the one he sends over the top. Oh, he's the most frustrating player on the planet is Visinton. Yeah, so I'm hoping that he still has to play in Europe, obviously, because we don't have Priscilla injured. We don't have Priscilla registered. So hopefully we get performances out of him. I still want to sell him. I still just think he's annoyed me, and even if he is a good goalkeeper on paper, on grass he's a bit rubbish. All right, let's go with a demand more, perhaps. Hamache over a free kick. No, just kidding. And we go to the 70-odd minute mark now. I mean, it's not been a great game. Their XG is just over 1, and they've had a penalty, and ours is under 1. Bosniak is not having a good game, so let's take him off for Brigic, who can be a more... Oh, actually, no, let's go with Ranocchia. Yeah. The issue we have is it's just a lack of options, isn't it? I really want to keep Matanovic fresh for the league game. Ranocchia now. Can he knock in a good one to the back post, where no doubt all the centre-backs will be queuing up? There it is. The goalkeeper comes. It's punched. It's Kakavenga for Akbasli. Akbasli finds the back of the net. Really can't finish that one. And it will surely be the points in the bag. 85th minute, 3-1. And let's have a look here. Kakavenga, we all expected him to shoot, I think. But Akbasli took a touch and really didn't give the goalkeeper a chance, did he? So, nicely done. And I think I was considering taking him off. So that should be that. Another 3 points in Europe. We continue to fly when we're playing in European football. And just, I mean, the struggle in the league in terms of drop points, yes. But we just draw a lot of games. We don't actually, the form, if you look at unbeaten games and whatnot, it's not that bad. We don't lose that often. But of course, the issue, it's drop points, not losses, isn't it? Now, 12 points from our 5 games. That should be us mathematically just about, but certainly realistically through the group. And so now we just need to see exactly what we can do in terms of finishing in the top 8. All right, so teams are securing their spot. We're not one of them yet, but that's with 15 points, I think, isn't it? So we're only 3 points away, so that should be fine. We turned dominance into victory. The Skoko injury is about a month, which is not too bad. $500,000 in the bank. Kakavenga was brilliant there, wasn't he? Really, really good game for him. But that'll do it for today. If we go and have a quick look here. Now, our last 3 games are against Nantes away, which is tough. I think they just guaranteed their way through too, didn't they? Then we've got Braga at home, which is one I feel like we should take at least a point from. And then Lille away, which will be tough. So 2 trips to France. I think of the pastries I could eat. Oh, I'm hungry just thinking about that. So I think what we'll do, Nantes and Slaven Belupo will take us through to the winter break. And then we can come back for the last 2 league games, assuming that there's top 8 spot riding on it. We'll have our new right back, probably not able to play, but certainly at the club. And yeah, that'll all be very, very exciting. So if you've enjoyed that, thumbs up, subscribe if you're new. Let me know what you think of the new signings. There's 3 of them, of course, this episode, isn't there? And yeah, I'll see you for Nantes and Slaven. Take care.